we can talk about the other presents, which was uh, for Pokemon Day. And I definitely didn't flub saying that during the intro a million times. Maybe
You
I'll
only
leave it
said it
in.
once,
Who's to say? Maybe I'll leave it in.
maybe.
um, yeah, Pokemon. What'd you think of the Pokemon Presents?
I I came to the realization that I need to like know they're going to do this every single year on February 27th,
Yep.
and that it's not always going to be like game centric.
Yeah.
Because we got through the whole thing, I was like, well, that was kind of a waste of time.
Yep.
But like it wasn't. I mean, they're always gonna do something. Like my first thought was it feels like they just kind of carved this together and like did it because they felt like they needed to.
hmm
And at the end of the day, they kind of do. Like people have recognized this as a day, and it goes beyond the games, like to the now the um, media and the card game. Um, so I just need to have that expectation every year.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
That's perfect. Like uh, you said it perfectly because obviously every year we aren't going to get them dropping like the news of like a new Pokemon Legends game and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and you know what I mean. Like we just had a game come out, which most likely means you can expect DLC and then probably just like updates about what is happening with Pokemon everywhere
mhm.
else. Um, so yeah, uh, I completely hear you.
I I know this is kind of weird, but I was like kind of expecting slash hoping there to be like Arceus content.
Like an expansion for the game
I don't know
or like a
necessarily
another
an
game that is
expansion.
like built like that.
No, even just like an event or something.
I
Like
gotcha.
so I don't know. I'm assuming they're just done with Arceus at this point. Now that the Scarlet and Violet's out, and they're probably
Yeah.
working on whatever the next game is. But it just seemed like it was so well received that I was kind of thinking they were going to slip something in.
Yeah, I
Um,
think yeah, I think the issue there is that like you said, Scarlet and Violet are out, and so events
yeah,
are happening in that and stuff like that.
I'm in general getting a little nervous about the Pokemon brand. Like it's almost getting to Marvel level for me.
Oh,
Like, okay, so the thing that really kind of pushed me over the edge was fucking Pokemon Sleep.
come on now. We've known about that for a while. Let's go. Pokemon
Okay,
Sleep.
well, I haven't.
More news. Yes.
Like,
Mike, it'll track your sleeping patterns and then give you the opportunity when you have a really good night's sleep to catch Charizard. And when you have a piss poor night's sleep, you have to fucking catch, I don't know, Bonsley or some shit.
what the? Mm, I'll see you next week. I'm done.
Oh, I could not resist the urge. Whew, man.
I just hope you know that because of that, I'm gonna have an awful night.
Oh, it was just low hanging fruit. I'm really sorry.
Hmm. Like, okay, great. So I'll never be able to catch a Charizard because I never fucking sleep. So, like, thanks.
Yeah, I I'm interested by the gimmick, but I think it like falls into like Pokemon Go where it's like I'll be into it for the first couple of weeks and be figuring out all the ways. Like, oh, you're telling me if I take two melatonin? Is that
Yeah.
the stuff that helps you sleep? If I take
Yep.
two melatonin gummies, uh there's an increased chance that I'll see
He's just
Mewtwo.
gonna
I'll see Mewtwo when I wake up.
Oh my god, this is what I'm gonna do my, PhD dissertation on, the gamification of sleep and its increase in drug dependency in users.
You're telling me if I fall asleep quicker but have worse REM cycles, that's the key to catching Snorlax? All right, looks like I'm gonna drink myself to sleep. I fell asleep
I
so
just
easily. Why did I sleep like shit?
I the, paranoid, like, John McAfee in me was like, "What's Nintendo want with my sleep data? What are you doing? What is this? Is this game free?"
Yeah. It definitely will be.
I it's just it's one of those things that's weird to me, like, in software in general, like, companies trying to gamify sleep, and they're just like, "Oh, well, the lack of sleep is a crisis uh, in the US," which, like, I agree with, but I feel like it's just a lot of people capitalizing and selling sleep data as a commodity, which is just weird.
Okay. Well, now that you soured my mood on Pokemon Sleep,
I just
uh,
don't get it. Like, why? Okay, anyway, sorry. I'm just being a boomer. Now let's talk
tell me about
about
your feelings about Plus Plus.
I I paused. So, I had this on, like, just in the background while I was doing some work, and I heard plus plus, and I was, like, mid-typing, staring at my computer. I had this playing on the TV, and I, like, stopped typing, and I looked up at the TV. I'm like, "Did I just hear what I thought I heard?" And I was, like, immediately thought it was that, Hulu commercial where they're making fun of, like, um, just subscription services all being plus.
Hmm.
And I think they landed on, like, Hulu plus live TV plus plus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh my god, we have this is the alpha moment for the world in that we've run out of pluses, so now we have to move on to plus plus." Like, it's not enough to just be anything plus anymore, you've gotta be something plus plus, and I I I had to stop my work to take in what a momentous moment in mankind that this was.
M- If you ask me, missed opportunity on PlayStation to make the new tiers of PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Plus Plus, and PlayStation Plus Plus Plus.
Alright. I mean, even PlayStation Plus Plus Extra is ridiculous.
Sure. Um, so basically what it is just like a device that um allows you to like spin Pokemon stops without having to actually like be in the app. I guess it does it automatically when you walk by. Um
Okay.
and it also I guess is gonna be compatible with Pokemon Sleep. I don't know if I missed that during the presentation. I think I heard plus plus and I shit myself, so I had to go deal with that. um, uh, but it says here that a Pikachu inside the device will sing players lullabies and gets friendlier the more sleep the trainer gets. And like I just think about the inverse where you're talking about how you never sleep well, and
Pikachu is
Pikachu's
just a
like,
dick.
Pika Pika, go to sleep. It's like Pika Pika. It's just getting like it's getting even meaner and making it even harder for you to fall asleep because you think
Right.
Pikachu's gonna come out at any moment and just fucking shock the shit out of you. Um, that's just ridiculous to me.
I'm already upsetting the fucking Duolingo owl every day. I don't need Pikachu pissed at me too because 'cause I'm not sleeping.
I'm just
I'm not
trying to.
sleeping because the Duolingo owl's mad at me.
I'm like, I'm trying to understand why they named it Plus Plus. I don't know if it's because the plus this device looks very similar. Do you remember the
Oh, I remember.
Heart Gold Soul Silver, right? Were the ones
Yeah.
that had this um
Pedometer.
yeah, that you could like put a Pokemon in or put eggs in and like if you walked, in real life, it would track it on there and then you would transfer them back to the game and it would, uh increase friendliness or hatch eggs potentially for you and stuff like that.
That was actually pretty dope.
Yeah, if I remember correctly. And I can't remember if that device was called like the Plus something, like Poke Tracker Plus. And so if that's why they're like, oh, to differentiate, it's
Because
fucking.
everyone remembers that. It's
I know. I don't even remember what the fuck it was called. But if I Google it, would that be an issue? And that's why they needed for search engine optimization, they had to call this fucking
Right.
plus plus because there's no way you can fucking mistype that shit. Oh my god. Incredible
Like,
stuff.
I didn't even know which plus came first.
Yeah, I think I got it wrong in the intro because I said it was the symbol and then the word typed out, and that was idiotic on my part because it's
Yeah,
obviously the word and then the symbol. Fucking
yeah.
idiot. Um, Great, just two amazing announcements that I love. Really got both of us. They announced Pokemon Sleep though. They announced that like 3 years ago, so I am actually happy that they like didn't just announce that shit
Delivered it.
and then never did anything with it. Now if only they give us Detective Pikachu on the Switch like they
Yeah.
promised.
The
Um,
movie, not the game.
yeah. Some other stuff they announced like updates for Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Cafe Remix, Pokemon Masters, which are mobile games. Unite is also on the Switch. I played it twice. Can't wait for the servers to sunset for that. They
Mm.
announced a new uh is Pokemon Concierge a that's a series on Netflix. Um which, uh great, I guess. Apparently I should know who Haru is, but I don't. So looking forward to it. But I think the biggest thing was that they announced once again expansions. So they did this for the first time ever on Sword and Shield. It was a completely new thing for Pokemon to do at the time. Uh, I guess it was received well enough because they're doing it again. And I think like on a console, it makes sense. It's effectively like
Mhm.
getting somebody to do like a season pass to get big DLC. I know Chris and Jess, um, said that they enjoyed the Sword and Shield expansions. Uh, I again am just curious if I will be. I think the first one is coming out late this year, and then the second one won't be out until. No, I think the first one's supposed to come fall. The second one's supposed to come winter. Um, I think the second one they left a little more ambiguous. Like I think they said it should release in winter. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get back into it by then. Like I already fell off of like trying to keep up with like these terror raids that happen and stuff like that. And like I really do think I just like played it and loved it, enjoyed it, thought the games were great, and like that was really it. And I'll see you next launch.
Mhm.
That's the problem I think with Pokemon is that I love it so much. This is going to sound so backwards, but I love it so much that I play it for 100 hours in such a tight time period, and I just milk it for all it's worth before they even start giving you like the extra goodies. And then by the time that like something else takes away my attention for even 1 second, I'm out. Like I can't even pick it back up and like feel the same joy I felt. Oh, so long as like a week ago. It's really crazy because I do truly love Pokemon a ton, but it's just so easy for me to put so much time into it and then just fall out of it like it was nothing.
Yeah, it's and so okay, let me ask you this. Um, let's say that The Last of Us Part 2 came out with story-based DLC, like, comes out next week.
Hmm.
Would you be able to jump back into that pretty quickly?
Yes, because I love The Last of Us.
So what is it about Pokemon that
I think it's the fact that with The Last of Us, I haven't put 100 fucking hours into it.
True.
Like, I think that might be the problem, right? Like, I think like it's that. Um, I'm trying to think of like the best way to describe it, but it's almost like how Chris and I, when we were talking, where like you lose save data that you just did, and then you have to like go back and like do it again. And like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
why, but like Pokemon almost feels that way to me. And like, it's not the sense that I'm like doing like I'm not having to redo like story or something like that. And obviously, like the DLC is gonna be new story if anything. But it's just like the fact of like going like ripping myself out of Pokemon and then trying to force myself back into it. I don't know. I just like it's so hard to like really like put my finger on it. But you bringing up The Last of Us, it's like, well, I just love The Last of Us so freaking much. And maybe it's because I haven't played it in so long that it's easier. I think the real test is going to be Horizon when that DLC comes out. But the
Mm.
thing is, like, I've picked up Horizon again in an attempt to make sure that I'm actually ready for it because I think I wouldn't have picked it up otherwise. It's so tricky. I'm such a finicky little bitch. You know, nobody can figure me out. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to have Jess and Chris on to talk up the expansions and get me into it.
We can do that, I think.
Actually, just
I
Jess.
can't speak for them, but
We don't want Chris's ego to grow because of how many times he's been on the show. So just Jess.